Welcome to ESC Fan TV. It's Friday night and we are back talking Melodifestivalen or Melfest or Mello, depending on what's your preference. As always, we have, and we're delighted to say hello again to Gustav, all the way from Sweden, who of course works for SVT, but he's in the north today. Hello, Gustav.
Hello, Luleå calling. I will do like this. We're rather close to the Arctic Circle here. It's minus 10 degrees and lots of snow. It's lovely.
And how long did it take you to travel all the way up north?
If you're going by train, which we were not doing, it takes 13 hours. So that's why we're not going by train. But next week it's Malmö, and then it's back to the train again. And Malmö, it's very far to the south, so we are covering huge distances here. Luleå to Malmö, it's like Stockholm to Paris or something.
Well, it's good to have you back on, Gustav. I appreciate you keep talking to us at ESC Fan TV. Last week, we spoke about the potential qualifiers for semi-final 2, and we talked about the exit polls. So I think it's probably good that we start there. So the exit polls weren't predicting necessarily the result that occurred last week. So what's been the reaction online to Dotter and to Anna Bergendahl's qualification?
I can only say vaguely because I'm not like a moderator for stuff written online, but there's a lot of hype for these two entries actually, both in Sweden and among Eurovision fans internationally. Dotter has a fan base already among English-speaking Eurovision fans, and now also nationally. She has kind of been building gradually because she was doing an interval act last year in the Second Chance show, and she did participate as a singer the year before. So she has been building, and but Anna Bergendahl is actually today or yesterday she has been moving in the betting lists past Hanna Färm to be number 1 in the predictions to win everything in Melodifestivalen.
And I'd just like to introduce you to my co-host, Elliot, this evening. And it's a nice segue into introducing Elliot because he is quite possibly Britain's Anya Bergendahl's biggest fan. And I'm sure he has a number of questions regarding Anna, but also about this week's selection. So I'll hand it over to Elliot.
Also one of Dotter's biggest English-speaking fans as well. I am definitely in that boat. So firstly,
wonderful.
You mentioned about being in Luleå, going to Malmö, and then also last week you were in Gothenburg. How long after the show wraps do the production team get everything cleared down and move up? Because you're traveling thousands of kilometers week to week. So how tightly run is it to get everything down and off and away again?
It's a big deal actually. A lot of people working with this, and they are starting right after the cameras are closing. Actually, when Mariette did participate last time, I believe she fell into a hole in the stage because they stand on the stage waving with the flowers at the end of the broadcast, and then they move on to a press conference and they have to get them off the stage, and they had already started dismantling the stage, and she fell into a little hole or something in the stage, but didn't get badly hurt, but it had like a little bruise from it. So they are tearing everything down as quickly as they can, and on the night after the show they have removed everything from the arena, and it's packed into trucks and on its way to the next destination.
Sounds like a very, very professional organization then, especially if acts are getting hurt as a result. So
yeah, but they have been doing it for so many years. So
obviously also last week as well was the first time that 2 female artists have gone direct to the final since 2009, I believe. It's been a long time. That actually shocked me actually that it's been 11 years. Does this feel like it's a shift in the way Swedes are voting, or what? Because obviously 11 years for 2 female artists to go directly through, that's, hundreds of songs in that time span. So I don't know.
Yeah. It was a big discussion about this in Sweden for a few years. It has been kind of building subtly, and before this year everyone were kind of talking about it would be good to have a female act winning. We don't want to send guys to Eurovision all the time. It doesn't look good, and we want 2 girls to qualify to the final. And like everyone, we're talking about this, and I don't know if perhaps this has actually reached the common viewers, the voters out there, or perhaps it's just a shift of trends. Because when you have a strong trend with only pop guys doing incredibly well, then it's bound to shift and change at some point. And perhaps it's just this normal, what do you call it, circular change of trends. So I don't know. And we can also note that Anna Bergendahl, the dancers are really powerful and important in her visual presentation.
Yeah. Then obviously moving on to this week. So the bookies at the moment, it's saying that Mohombi and Faith Kakembo are the favourites to go direct to the final. Mohombi, obviously a big name in Sweden and doing it last year. Faith, relatively unknown. So if the exit poll has come through so far, does that reflect what the bookies are saying with the Swedish public from the dress rehearsal? Are Mohombi and Faith the favourites so far to go through with the exit poll that you did, or the OJ did?
Yeah, OJ Sweden Melodifestivalen does the exit poll, and they did a tremendous job apparently, because they asked 800 people from the crowd in the dress rehearsal, and it wasn't a sold-out arena, and the arena is smaller here. So they managed to catch up with a lot of people and ask them what they think, and it's relevant, of course, because they have been watching the show. But it was an upset in the result. Mohombi was number 1. With a lot of votes, and he's also number 1 in the odds. But we had Anis Don Demina as number 2, not Faith Kakembo. Faith Kakembo was only number 5, and way behind, only 50 votes, I believe, out of those 800, and Mohombi had 241 or something. So a huge gap. But it's a ballad, so we don't know. I remember Felix Sandman being number 6 in the exit poll when he competed with Every Single Day, which was a heavy ballad in 2018. So sometimes these dress rehearsal audiences don't like the slow songs. They want something like upbeat. And Anis Don Demina definitely represent this. And he's also very popular among the kids, and a lot of kids going to the dress rehearsal. So this could affect the result, but it's Anis Don Demina as number 2 in the dress rehearsal, almost winning the exit poll, is definitely a surprise.
And as you said there, we've got Mohombi, we've got Faith, we've got Anis, we've got a lot of different varying styles in music. Will that translate to lots of different styles of staging? Like what should we look out for? Because obviously there's a lot of visuals going on last week, like with Anis dancers, the lights on Dotta's performance, Mendes and Navarro. Like, is it going to be something similar with a lot of changing styles visually as well as musically?
Well, there's a lot to look out for this week, actually, because firstly, Mohombi, he's supposed to have the big gimmick of the week. He has the last position in the running order, number 7, and he's supposed to have a small lift where he's going up into the air. It's supposed to look magical, singing the song Winners, and together we're winners, and to illustrate how strong the feeling is when you're together. He's going up into the air, and I was talking to him. It's a song. It could be interpreted to be about the environmental issues, for example, like I'm lost without you, but together we can be winners. But they are talking about removing this lift altogether now. And I think as I'm speaking, they are having a meeting backstage to see if they will actually use this, because they're not used with how it, they are not happy with how it plays out with the light. So this is one thing to look out for. Will he fly or not tomorrow, physically and metaphorically? And the second thing is that we have a lot of dancers on stage this week as well. From entry number 2 to entry number 5, we have the set dancers, the tour dancers, the same 4 people participating in each and every one of those entries. And especially the girls are in all of them. So they have to do quick changes a lot backstage. And it's quite impressive. So keep an eye out for that.
Okay, and just one last thing I want to mention is obviously Mally gets back her 4th time. She's had a perfect run of getting to the final. If she gets through tomorrow night, this will be her 4th direct to final. Is that a record in Sweden? Has anyone gone to the final 4 times without breaking it? Because obviously there's a lot of people that have gone to the final 3 times, like Mons and, you know, Molly Sandine and all these lot, but is a 4th perfect run ever been done before?
Oh, it's a good question. I believe, no, Sanna Nielsen didn't do it either, right? No, she didn't do it. I don't know. It's a great question. I have to look that up. But I don't think that Mariette will go straight to the final because she was only number 4 in the exit poll, and in the reviews she hasn't been hailed as a favorite. Many have said that it's the weakest song. Some people like it. I don't think it looked bad in any way when I was looking on the screens today, but it's a lot of competition, and it's an even play field this week, so she could go anywhere.
Okay, well, brilliant. Well, that's something we have to look out for. Will Mariette go to the final for a 4th successive time or not? I think that's everything I've got for you, Gustav, unless Stuart has anything else he would like to add then.
No, good stuff. As always, it's an absolute pleasure having you on the show. We really appreciate it. I know how much of a busy man you are, especially on a Friday night, 24 hours before Melodifestivalen. And look,
yeah, this is my 3rd webcast in some time.
I know,
this night.
Well, look, the very, very best of luck for tomorrow night's show. All of us around the world will be glued to our TV screens watching it.
And check out the Melodifestivalen Twitter account. I'll be posting live comments there in English if you want live commentary explaining what's going on. And
Gustav, remind us what that Twitter handle is.
It's SVT Melfest. SVT Melfest.
Great. Good luck for tomorrow night, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
See you. Enjoy.